See that bag? Actually, there's two there. There's one there, one there. You got to kind of just look for them. With all the green. In the fall and in the wintertime, you can see them all over. There's probably 20 in every tree.
Tim Ireland's backyard backs up to one of the Kansas City area's main landfills.
We pick up trash out of our yard daily. We have rodents, possums, raccoons. You get into everything, they dig up gardens, they kill your chickens.
Ireland lives east of the Courtney Ridge landfill in Sugar Creek. He wants to move away.
That's in the plans. I'd originally bought in a different area. Fight as much as you can because once they're in, you can't do nothing.
Well, that High Ridge is a landfill.
Bill Jones' backyard butts to the landfill too. Jones worked there when the landfill first came in. Now in retirement, he has a garden growing and says he has no problems.
Well, we've lived here like 25 years and we really haven't had any issues. Nobody wants to maybe live by it like they're saying down south here, but you know, right here we're doing fine.
I don't even notice it's there.
Joe Schinkel lives across the street.
Because I know it's right on the other side of the hill, but there's nothing. You don't ever hear anything. I don't ever smell anything.
If you know what a hog lot and a feed lot smells like, that's what it smells like. And that's bad. And some days it's worse than others.
Loma Marlatt has lived across the street for decades, saying she had the opportunity for a buyout when the landfill was put in, but had kids to put through school and chose to stay. She's lodged her complaints about the landfill for years.
I had a ledger and then I just quit keeping it because I was calling 3 and 4 times a day.
A spokeswoman for Republic Services says the company is committed to being a good neighbor and a steward of the environment. She also said the landfill has 20+ years of lifespan remaining. The opinions of those who live right next to our region's trash certainly matter.
Money can't take over.
It will be years before he ever even sees the site.
It's terrifying.
If it is proven to be an unsafe place for a landfill, we have no desire to put it here.
We don't want it in our backyard either.
Especially with the new debate over where a new landfill should go or when we even need one.
As a region, we might throw away 3 million tons of stuff in area landfills every year. So 3 million tons is just an enormous amount of stuff, right?
I want to introduce Tom Jacobs. He's the Mid-America Regional Council.
One man to help lead the discussion for our region is Tom Jacobs. He's the Chief Resilience Officer with the Mid-America Regional Council.
And our elevator speech is to bring communities together to address transboundary problems.
Jacobs recently met with neighbors in Raymore and South Kansas City about a study of Kansas City's future landfill capacity.
And we don't really know when we're going to need more, but it's probably at least 25 or 30 years out.
Jacobs says the study will look to better define those numbers. He also says Kansas City needs much stronger systems to encourage recycling and composting.
And how do we create an infrastructure that meets our needs, that of course include disposal, but help us create this more resilient, sustainable, green, vibrant community that we all aspire to, and do these two things at the same time.
Somebody needs to figure out one of few things. Either we have less trash, which I think is a necessity, or, and probably not or, but and we need to figure out somewhere to put it.
Kansas City, Missouri Mayor Quentin Lucas is sponsoring a city-led study to look at the need for a landfill and alternative solutions. He knows people around South Kansas City have called for no landfills anywhere in city limits.
Would you be willing to step up as a leader of Kansas City to say we need a ban on landfills in Kansas City?
You know, I think that is a more prudent approach. Right now, and I've introduced an ordinance that put a moratorium on the existence of landfills for at least 1 year.
What about a full ban, though?
A full ban on landfills? I actually find that to be something that I would be interested in exploring.
But Mayor Lucas also recognizes if Kansas City bans landfills, others may follow.
Reality does occur to me, though, which is that if Kansas City bans it, then Lee Summit will, and Raymore, and our Kansas side suburbs, and Liberty, and everyone will. And there might be a question as to, well, then will there be any landfills ever? And we probably still need some somewhere.
So I say, great, Mayor, be a leader. Protect your citizens.
Rick Myers is the president of the Stop the Landfill Coalition. He lives just a mile from the proposed South Kansas City landfill. He says the city does not need a landfill so close to surrounding communities.
And let's put this thing in a place where the smoke and the fumes aren't going to drift into a grade school or drift into a housing subdivision that's, a half mile away.
I want them to know that we hear you. And we are currently gathering as much data so that we can have the most state-of-the-art technology to make sure that that is not a problem for the region.
Myers and landfill developer Jenny Monheiser say we all should be concerned about the impact of so much waste still going to landfills, but they disagree about the true threat of one moving in so close to home.
You want to put your bag at the curb and have it be done, and you don't ever want to think about it again. And then all of a sudden you get the idea or the threat of this thing being dropped on your front porch.
People in South Kansas City and Raymore and Lee Summit and surrounding communities continue to push for a way to permanently stop the landfill in their backyard. The woman who wants to bring it there believes a permanent ban on landfills is bad policy.
None of us can predict what's going to happen in the future. And, so I think time to gather facts, gather the information, and then make strategic plans for what we need in the future is a good policy.
But what if there's an alternative to landfills? Neighbors around South Kansas City and Pettis County have floated alternatives like a waste-to-energy plant, burning trash to make electricity.
We've spent a lot of money as a society to look for alternative ways to fossil fuels, and we need to look at alternative ways for waste management.
The U.S. has 75 waste-to-energy facilities across the country in 25 states, concentrated mainly in Florida and the Northeast. The EPA says they're more expensive to develop than landfills, and the question remains, where should one go?
There are better ways to do this, and they're extremely expensive.
Developer Derek Stanley in Pettis County believes his landfill is a cheaper and better solution to help Kansas City manage a portion of its trash.
This location, one of the reasons it was chosen was because of its remoteness.
But those who live close continue to fight.
Now's the time to do it before it ever gets here, because if it gets here, there's nothing you can do. The majority of Pettis County is dead set again, taking all this trash coming down here from Kansas City, 11 other counties, scattering it down the highway.
If there is someone who owns a huge amount of land in a community that absolutely doesn't care about landfills, yes or no, they could really solve our problem for us.
It's not about just not in my backyard, it's about not in anyone's backyard.
It's becoming a numbers game.
There's a sign out here that says you and your husband stand to be billionaires from this project. Is that how much money you plan to make, is billions from this project?
No, sir. I'm not actually sure where that number came from. We are here as people in the community trying to provide a service to the citizens of the region.
Why? Why here? There are so many people upset by this.
It's clear, wherever our trash goes, it can change the trajectory of our lives.
Police say they tried to avoid debris. It ended with a fiery accident.
People need to be accountable of their actions. They need to tie furniture, limbs, whatever down.
Trash can influence how we look at the world and the city around us.
I see a city that has a lot of potential to be a beautiful city, but we have a long, long ways to go.
The environmentalists and the cities and the state, they've got to get together and figure that out, because it's not going to get better.
But somebody's going to have to make a decision, because it's going to have to go somewhere.
The trash issue is actually fundamentally an environmental issue. We've got too much trash.
By seeing the deep and emotional impact of Kansas City's trash problem and where it might end up, it will ultimately come down to us all finding a way to use less or even throw away.
I love to see the neighborhood clean. I really do.
Until we as a region solve those bigger problems, today or tomorrow.
My block, my era, that I love.
If you see any trash on your block,
everybody asks me, you still work in the neighborhood? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't see no trash over there.
Can you get out like Miss Minnie Mitchell?
Trash, draw trash.
To clean up a dirty Kansas City.
Well, it's nice people here. It's a nice place to live. Yeah, it really is. I love Kansas City.